As a gun store, there's one particular, I'm just going to say it. I saw you thinking it. Up until very recently, if you were interested in buying a new holster and you walked into a gun store, you had a plethora of subpar options in front of you. And today, things are starting to change. Companies like Safariland, companies like Filster are putting superior high-quality holsters on the shelf that have every feature needed for both concealment and performance. So today, we're going to take a look at the Safariland INCOG X and tell you why it's pretty doggone good.
What's your profanity? Right, I'm sorry.
So the INCOG X is the latest version of the INCOG series of holsters, which used to be brought to you by Haley Strategic, now partnered with Safariland. This is an inside the waistband appendix carry holster that is made of a pretty thick kydex compared to most other things on the market. The outside of the holster has been lined with this microfiber suede material, making it very comfortable as it presses up against your body. It also wicks some of the moisture away. But at the end of the day, this is a fully customizable holster that comes with everything you need, including multiple different size concealment wings and an optional mag caddy. And of course, it is the year 2024, so they are red dot capable as well. So taking a closer look at the hardware of this holster, I want to pay attention to the clips first off, because this is one of the first things that break on most other holsters on the market. Over multiple months or years of prying the clips off and on your belt line, you're going to find fatigue up in the curves here. Well, what Safariland has done with this holster is they've made these pretty robust and flexible. So over years of flicking this thing on and off your belt line, you can have confidence that these are going to last you a very long time. And another thing that I do very like, very much, yes.
Wow, it's very nice.
Another feature that I'm a big fan of is that the concealment wing on the right strut is permanently attached to the wing itself. For a lot of other holsters, this is one of the first pieces of wear that you're going to run into because of the amount of torque and leverage that this is putting into the butt of the gun to push it back into you to help you not print as bad. And speaking of hardware, what you're going to notice is on the front of the mag caddy or the rear of the holster itself, the screws that actually adjust your retention, the gussets are highlighted in red so that you can find it quickly and easily. It's kind of one thing that I like because otherwise you just start turning screws and you're not sure what you're adjusting, but now we know without a shadow of a doubt. So on the box, these are labeled as featuring passive retention, and what that means is simply the friction of the gun sitting in the holster is all the retention that you're going to get, and really it's all that you really need for concealed carry. When this is inside your waistband and your belt line are adding additional tension to the holster, you're going to find that there is more than adequate retention to hold this in as you are carrying the gun. This thing is stuck in the holster pretty good. When you're wearing this holster, you are going to have a mechanical leverage advantage over the gun. So the level of retention while in your hand may feel a bit excessive. It's going to be totally appropriate when it's in your belt line, and we'll show you what that looks like. So I guess now's the time when we talk about putting it in your pants. I find that the easiest way to insert one of these holsters into your pant line is to get a grip on the back of the pistol grip and your middle finger on the clip itself, and then that frees up your support hand to open the garment. So I'm going to reveal the garment, and I'm going to go ahead and tuck this in muzzle first and get that concealment wing dug in behind my belt. So it lifts, I dig that in. I can now open the clip and drop the entire assembly into my belt line, and I want to make sure that as you push this down, that those clips are securely biting over the belt. Now, if you need to make any lateral adjustments left and right, go ahead and do those before you cover it up, and then give it your first test by draping your concealment garment over the gun, and then assess whether or not you need to make any further adjustments. And just like that, you're now concealed carrying a full-size handgun comfortably and still maintaining a level of performance, in my opinion, required if you're going to carry the gun like this. Another high-level feature of the INCOG X is the fact that on the muzzle end of the holster, it is opened up, allowing those of you with threaded barrels, extended slides, or compensators able to carry with that. The only piece of warning that I have is if you're having yourself a nice little range day and you're doing a fair amount of shooting, be mindful when you go to reholster it. Give it some time to cool before you shove it inside your waistband. So now we're going to take the INCOG X with the Glock 45 into the range, and we're going to let you know how it performs. All right, so here we are in the range with the INCOG X, and for the purposes of what we're doing here today, I'm going to be shooting a Glock 45 with a Holosun 507 competition. This is actually a rental with us, so if you want to come check this thing out, I recommend it. It's also got a Radiant ramjet on there. Whenever you start working with a new holster or a new carry method, I highly recommend shooting a couple of standardized testing procedures just to put things into perspective and see what tweaks you need to be making in your practice. So with that in mind, because I'm using a new holster and frankly a different gun, I'm going to be shooting the trifecta and maybe a couple of bill drills just to see where we're at today. So currently I've got my target set to 3 yards. Trifecta requires 1 draw on 3 different target sizes. So we're going to be using the large circle in the middle. We're going to be using the large head rectangle. And then I'm going to use the whole of the number 6 as the 2-inch circle. We're going to call that good enough for practice. And then of course for the bill drill, we'll back it off slightly. I should probably load the gun. I hear that helps. So up first, I'm just going to give myself a couple of dry fire draws to get warmed up. This is a new holster, so we're going to see if it affects my angle of entry or how I get onto the gun in any way. That plucks from the holster really nicely. A little deeper on the back strap. That's better. Sport hand's a little bit late. That's better. Okay, so first we're going to draw to the body. We're going to put 1 shot in the body. Stand by. Okay, we are in an 89. We're in an 89. So the way trifecta works is you get 3 attempts and you have to pick one of the numbers and stick with it. I'm pretty happy with the 89. I know I'm capable of more, but we're going to move on. So now we're going to go to the head box. 1 shot to the head box. Okay, big correction. Dot was very low. I had to float it higher. It's in a 124. I'm going to clean that up. We're going to do it again. That was much better. It's in a 105. I'll take that one. That's good enough for me. So now we're going to go to the quasi 2-inch circle being the hole in the number 6. That's a hit and a 113. You know what? I'm happy with those numbers. We'll go with that. So if my memory serves me correctly, that was an 89, a 105, and a 113. Not quite the 3-second expert rank, I don't think, but for my first time performing with a brand new holster and a different gun, I'm pretty happy with that. A quick couple of notes since I'm experimenting with a new holster to me. The holster is very comfortable. It's sitting very flat up against my body. If it were my personal holster that I was taking home, I would likely put a wedge on the bottom side because of my body type. That's what I require to conceal the gun well. But even just opening the package and putting it in my belt line, it's concealing and it's performing well. Stabbing on the gun and plucking the gun out of the holster feels really good. The retention is freeing itself up and letting the gun go freely as it needs to. And all in all, this thing feels really nice. I just want to focus on how quickly can I get the gun out and put multiple rounds down range. So this is going to be a bill drill performed at about 3 yards. And for those of you uninitiated, the bill drill is draw and fire 6. Up first, we're going to go from the frames. Big correction on that. I had to walk it in from the left there pretty hard. That was a 202, even with the correction. Being close to 2 seconds feels really good. First shot was a 104, followed by a 26, a 22, an 18, a 16, and a 16. So that's where I was making the corrections. I'm watching the dot rise and fall as it's going through. More importantly, the gun coming from the holster is releasing precisely the way that it should, and I'm able to get a high grip on the gun as I'm drawing the gun out forward. It feels really good, and I'm enjoying this thing quite a lot. So this one, I'm shifting gears more into a raw speed mode. This is going to be 6 rounds as quickly as I can go. Okay, a little bit of tension in that one, but it's a 181, so I'm happy with that. 97 draw, 17 split, 15, 19, 14, and a 19. Just to put this out there, let me walk you through what I felt and what I saw. So as the timer went off, I felt like I was a little bit behind, but the timer shows I was actually closer to being on time. Diving onto the gun felt really good. I was able to secure a high grip into the tang of the gun, and I was able to pluck it from the holster very quickly, and it felt like I was in time and in tune the whole way through. Visually, I'm watching my dot rise and fall. I feel like I had to make a slight correction on the first shot, but that may have been a lack of prep on my end as well. The good news is the holster is not holding back my ability to perform in any way. And I cannot tell you how excited I am to have another quality holster option that's on the shelf out there without having to order a custom holster or order from a custom shop. So this has been a look at the INCOG X from Haley Strategic Partners and Safariland. I, for one, am thrilled at the amount of accessories and the amount of now holsters and holster design that is really oriented for those of us who carry a full-size or compact gun and who really care about our performance. For those of you interested in picking up or maybe upgrading your holster into something a little more professional grade, I highly recommend that you look into these as well. And it's important to mention that the gun you choose, the holster that you choose, really means nothing if you don't have the training and the skill set to back it up. If you'd like to develop your skill set and get involved in our training program, check out the links in the Zemu down below, and we'll be happy to get you guys sorted in the next available training opportunity. My name is Getty. Be safe.